All right, we're working on Target 38, solving problems with percents. We have done lots of problems like this already, but we're going to get you more into actually applying it and use it. And it's really cool because you use it with lots of things that you do in your everyday life, like go shopping. When you buy something, you have to add tax on. So here's problems that should look familiar to you. If you know how to do these, pause the video and try it. And by the way, if you don't right now, have a piece of paper out, a calculator, a pencil, pause the video and get all three of those out. Okay, so this first one, if you don't know how to do it, watch. If you do, try it on your own and then check. But remember, you need to take the percent and turn it into a decimal. I know in the past we've also talked about turning it into a fraction like this, and then just finding a fraction of the number. And that's great, but today I really want you to focus on just turning it into a decimal. Remember, to turn a percent into a decimal, you need to divide it by 100. The trick when you're dividing it by 100 is just to move it 2 places to the left. So this turns into 84 hundredths, like that, and you want to multiply by 960. So hopefully you've tried it. Pause the video, try your calculator out. You should actually get a decimal. It's 806.4 or 806 and 4/10 would be your answer. Okay, pause the video, try and do the bottom one. Okay, hopefully you turn this into a decimal and multiplied. If you did that correctly, you should have gotten 59.85. Correct way to say it, 59 and 85 hundredths. Okay, here's 2 more. If you know how to do this, please pause the video, try it, and then check in. Alright, so if you need help or you're just checking your answers, hopefully you took 8% and turned it into a decimal. It should be 8 hundredths, 0.08. What do you think is the most common mistake that somebody would make? Most common mistake is you just do that. Boo, don't do that. So you need to move it over 2 places to the left. Okay, so then you multiply, and your final answer, if you did this correctly, is 1 6/10. Down here, again, often kids just like to put the decimal right in front, and remember, oh boy, work. Okay, so they like to do that, but again, that is not correct. You need to move the decimal over 2 places. Oh boy, hold on. 1, 2. So 1.27 is your decimal for this percent. If you multiply it by 35, you should have gotten 44.45. If I'm going too fast, always feel free to pause the video. Now today we're going to get into problems that involve discounts, like if you go shopping, which is super fun to do, and you find a pair of jeans that are on sale for 25% off. Trying to figure out how much you would save or how much those jeans would cost you. So a couple things you need to know is this keyword here, discount. Discount is how much money that you actually save. Sometimes people will say how much off you get, but it's the price that you save. And then when you hear this word, what is the sale price? This is actually the price that you pay. Sometimes, if you subtract the discounts, it's kind of your final price after you take away the discount. So this is how much you pay, this is how much you save. So we're going to try a problem here. Pause the video, read the problem on your own, try and do it on your own, and then check back in with me. If you really have no idea, read the problem yourself, and then I will. Okay, so what is the sale price? Okay, so right away I'm thinking sale price is how much I pay after the discount. What is the sale price of the sweater? An OMS sweatshirt. Well, that's funny. Sweater up here, sweatshirt. Okay, anyways, let's assume it goes together. An OMS sweatshirt costs $24.95. It is on sale for 25% off. So what you're really trying to do here is figure out, first of all, how much money do I save? So you're trying to figure out 25% of the original price. And again, we know how to do that. So right now, if you haven't finished this problem yet, pause it and do it on your own. For your answer, you might have gotten a really long decimal. So when you get this really big decimal, you know you're dealing with money, so you need to round to the nearest hundredths. I look one to the right and it's a 7, so I know I need to round this to $6.24. Now make sure you are being a good problem solver and you are asking yourself, what does this $6.24 mean? You go back up to the problem, you're getting 25% off. Well, this is 25%. So I get this much off. This is how much I save, or it's my discount. So the question, though, is saying, what is the sale price? So I don't want the discount. I want to know what's the final cost going to be. So to get to the final cost, I need to take the original price and subtract the discount. So my final will be $18.71. Now I'm going really fast, but I keep pausing the video and using a calculator. So I'm assuming you're pausing this video as we go and you're actually doing the problems with me and not just watching and listening and writing things down and not thinking. You're not going to learn that way. So I have a little challenge for some of you who think this is very easy. So this is one way you can do it. You find 25% off and subtract it. We really did that in 2 steps. I want to challenge you to see, can you do this problem in 1 step? Here's the hint. You don't want to find the discount right away. You want to find the sale price right away. So you need to be thinking, I don't know what I'm doing over here. You need to be thinking, what percent am I paying? Once you do that, see if you can do this problem a lot quicker. We'll talk about it when I see you again. Try this one on your own. Pause it, read it, try it on your own, and then check back in. Okay, so you want to find 20%, because it's 20% off, of $49.99. I just rounded it to 50 because it just is going to be a lot easier. So you probably turn this into a decimal and multiplied it and got 10. So that means get off the discount over here. How much money do I get off? I save $10. That's my discount. So what is the sale price? I am hoping you took the original, subtracted your discount, and you got your sale price is $40. So you're going to pay $40 for Guitar Hero. Now I want to show you kind of some tricks to use when you're out shopping. I typically try to not pull out my calculator every time I'm shopping to figure out sales and discounts. I don't want to look like that person, you know, like maybe like somebody like your math teacher shopping. So I like to come up with some mental math strategies. So one would be, I know that 20% is the same as 20 hundredths, which really simplifies to 1/5. So I know that I'm saving 1/5. So another way to think about this is you want 1/5 of 50. And I know in my head that 1/5 of a number, I'm just going to do that number divided by 5. So right away in my head, 50 divided by 5 equals 10. Didn't even have to pull out my calculator, and that's kind of an easy one to do in my head. 50 minus 10 is 40. So anytime you can do these problems mentally, no calculator, you should, because you're going to need to be able to do that in the not in a math class, but when you're outside shopping and doing things on your own. It's way more important. Okay, so that was all discounts and sale prices, but what if you need to add sales tax on? So here's an example. If I buy this amazing jersey here, Bookham, number 7, my jersey looks like it costs $34.99, but I need to add 5% sales tax on. So hopefully you remember how to do this. 5% of, maybe we should round this one up too, just to be fun. Right now, if you haven't yet, find 5% of that, and then your final question is, what's the total cost? So figure out what your second step would be after you find the 5%. Unpause it when you're done and check in with me. Okay, so hopefully you found that 5% of 35 equals $1.75. And again, what does that $1.75 mean? That means that's the tax, the sales tax that I have to pay, the extra money that I have to pay on top of my $35. So total cost, hopefully you realize you needed to add these two things together. So the final cost of my jersey should be $36.75 with the sales tax. I added on. So this problem, read it to yourself first, pause the video. Okay, so the cost of this MP3 player in each state, because each state does have a different state sales tax, depending on which one. Some are cheaper, like New York is going to be very expensive. Looks like in this grid, Wyoming is the cheaper sales tax. So, right now, will you just fill out this column, which would be how much sales tax it will actually be. So, in other words, you find 7% of $34. What would my sales tax be? Then, what would my total be? Which means you need to add it on. So right now, complete this chart. When you're all done, check your answers with me. Okay, check your answers. I would pause the video again to check them. If you got stuck, here's what I did. I turned all of these percents into a decimal. Once I turned them all into a decimal, oh, careful, this one's kind of tricky, this Nebraska one. That's your decimal. And down here for Arizona. And then I just multiply all of those by $34. That's how I got the tax. After I got the tax, I just added it onto the $34. Okay, last problem we're going to do. Pause it, read it to yourself, and do A and B, then check in with me. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is inline skates are on sale for 35% off. So that means I save 35%. Then, we know the original price is $124.99. So what I did is I just rounded it to 125 to make it easier. The question is, what is the sale price? So I need to find the discount and then subtract that. So the first thing we did was we found 35% was $43.75. Again, you need to ask yourself, what does this represent? And this represents how much I save. So I need the sale price, so that's when you need to subtract. So you take your original price, subtract it from what you just saved. When you're all done, you should have said, hey, I'm going to only have to pay $81.25 for my inline skates. So there's your final answer. Question B, now I need the tax. So if you find 5% of my sale price, so now you have to go back to your answer up here. If you find 5% of this, hopefully you're doing this again, multiplying that out, your tax, again, I got a really long decimal and needed to round. So I'm going to round to the nearest hundredth. So my tax is $4.06. So what is the total cost? Add your tax onto that price, and your final answer should be $85.31. That should be your final answer. Okay, so for all of you people who want just a little bit more of a challenge, here's what I want you to think about. So originally for A, we found 35%, right? Well, here's actually something that I do. If it's a sale price, right away I know if I am saving 35%, that means I am going to pay 65%. So the next time I see you, I'm going to ask, where do you think I came up with the 65%? So then all I do is I find 65% of 125. And right away I get my answer of $81.25. And I only did one step. So next time I see you, I want to know, why do you think that works? Here's what I do for B, sales tax. Earlier you found 5%, right? Well, here's what I do. I find 105%. And that's my decimal for 105%. And when I do that, I just automatically get the answer. Oops, not that. With the tax added on. So when I see you again, I want you to be able to tell me, why does that work and why does this work? It's a nice, easy trick. All right, have a good day. Watch and read and look at all the questions again if it doesn't make sense. All right, toodles. Have a good day.